Hello everybody, this is Casey and I am presenting Team Delta's Entrepreneurial Toolbox assignment. We put together some information about bookkeeping and filing systems, and this PowerPoint is going to explain a little bit more about what bookkeeping and filing is, and a few different systems that can be implemented to help organize that material. Bookkeeping is defined as the activity or occupation of keeping records of the financial affairs of a business. Filing is defined as the act of placing documents in a particular order for preservation and reference. Certain examples are accounting, operations overhead, inventory management, and personnel information. As we go through, we're going to focus on different ways that you can file, as bookkeeping is a form of filing that just refers to the financial affairs. Certain systems that can be implemented to use can be a paperless system, which is what you would imagine incorporating file cabinets, binders. You're storing a physical piece of paper or information in a place. And another form is the paperless or computer systems that would use technology-based resources, for example, cloud. We'll talk first about paper systems. As I mentioned a moment ago, it is as you would imagine, that it's a binder, a storage space. I'm sure that we have all organized paper in some fashion in a binder. The benefits of this system is that for some reason, if technology resources are to shut down or lock you out, you have a physical hard copy that you can still access. The initial investment of paper systems can be very inexpensive, and depending on the amount of information that you might need to store, it really may be all you need. Of course, paper systems may not be the most effective when you start looking at big corporations such as hospitals. The possible drawbacks to a paper system is they do require space. Again, depending on the amount of information that you need to store, it can require large quantities of space, even warehouses. The paper, the ink, the folders, and all those other resources can add up, as you have to pay for those on a regular basis. And as your business grows and changes, you'll have to invest and maybe possibly reorganize this system. When you start a paper system, it's really best to try and find a way of identifying what categories you're going to need to organize your information into. Start by making different sections, and you can see some examples specifically for bookkeeping are listed here. These examples are not limited to just this. After you identify the information, the categories, and you know where you're going to store the information, you can start going into these specific folders and categories and labeling them further. You can always incorporate numerical and alphabetical systems into the different files. Depends again on how you need to access the information and what information you're needing to store. Considering a date or a time frame that you would like to organize the material is good for helping keep things consistent. Once you've created your system, it needs to be properly communicated so that everybody can follow the same instructions for filing. As these filing systems are created, it's best to try and remember that you want it to be efficient and be able to easily access the information. With paper systems, it will be required that you alter the system and reorganize it as you have new information and files you need to keep, or the existing ones outgrow the area that you originally designated to them. Paperless or computer-based systems for organizing your files use technology-based equipment and can incorporate cloud or email, Google Documents. The benefits to this is that minimal space is required. The filing systems could possibly be more consistent since there are a set of parameters that one has to follow for inputting the information. You can also start storing and organizing other things such as photographs or files. You can potentially have more storage space, even to an unlimited amount, compared to having to have a physical item in a set place. Possible drawbacks to a paperless system is that the initial investments can be expensive. Depending on where the business is, it could incorporate having to transfer a large quantity of paper into the technology. As a result, you'll also have to keep in mind that not everyone operates with a paperless system. Therefore, scanners and a means of transferring the paper documents into your technology is going to be required. And of course, what happens if whatever you're using doesn't work? What are your other options or backups to accessing the files, or can you even do that? This is an example of how one might want to organize a paperless file system. If you use software or other pre-made resources to do it, and these are a few examples, and they all have their own set of parameters that you can designate to the information that again can help keep the filing consistent and may lead to less human error being involved. All of these resources here do cost money. Some of them, such as Yep, they are online browser based where you can set up an account and start filing then. Some of the others, such as the Chorus document generation, requires software, it has a training program, and it has to be installed on your computers before you can start. So in conclusion, the bookkeeping and filing is one of the most important aspects of a business. It can incorporate everything from your bookkeeping and finances, to your inventory. Could even be something like filing information for your customers. Depending on the business and the situation that the business is in, one will have to decide which system is the most appropriate and effective. It's also important to go on and research what are you legally supposed to keep track of for your specific business, and how long do you need to be able to keep and store that information. Of course, as your company grows, what filing system may have worked for a very small business may not work as the business grows. And a bookkeeping and filing system is very much a living document. So it consistently will change as the business does, and it will progress as new technology becomes available for the business. This has been a presentation by Team Delta. Team Delta is Nadia, Michael, and myself, Casey. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we look forward to hearing your feedback in the Blackboard discussion area.